are you talking about? The plate is like this big. What's up, folks?
Softball sweeties.
Oh, look at you with the sweeties.
Thought I'd throw that in there for you.
Are you feeling warm and fuzzy today?
I am feeling warm and fuzzy. Actually, no, not really warm because a little cold front came into Austin, and it's been
a cold front is like 80 degrees here.
Yeah, it didn't get into the 90s yesterday,
Wow.
so it's been a little bit of a cold front.
Yeah, I know. Look at me.
She's in a jacket,
semi long sleeves,
out of control.
Just trying to celebrate like
fall.
Yeah,
Texas fall.
Yeah. Yeah, but
yeah.
We've got a few things to talk about. Obviously, USA just released their Olympic roster.
Big deal.
A couple surprises.
How many? What did your article say? It was over 4,200 days since USA softball announced an Olympic team.
Wow.
4,000 days.
That's a lot.
That's
I stopped
a lot.
counting.
That's a lot.
After 2.
She has had like a thing. She had like tally marks.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine me with like my calendar? I'm just like Xing out the days. Just imagine the calendar pages
all
just
the
flying
trees
off.
you killed, which is
know.
4,000 days.
Carving it to the wall or something like
What's that?
Carving it into the wall next to you instead of just like
It is.
calendar.
It's carved next to Chez's desk.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm just making like clay molds of my favorite softball players. That didn't happen.
This is out of control.
But wow, we're gonna talk about the choices, were you surprised by any? There's already a lot of people.
People
right out
are
the gate.
already commenting about like who they are surprised. We're just gonna start with these people. Ritz is surprised but super excited Bubba made the team.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly is shocked that Merritt didn't make the team.
I was a little surprised by that one.
And
too.
she's also asking why do they have 3 catchers? I was surprised not to see. I think my biggest surprise was not to see Amanda Lorenz.
Yeah.
Right. That was just for me. I was super surprised not to see her. I was also it blows my mind that Penley and Romero didn't make the team.
Yeah.
Those are my big didn't make the team surprises. Like I scrolled through the list a couple times to see if I missed their name. Right.
I can't say I'm surprised. There's not one Oklahoma player.
Right, but
on the entire the 15 roster, of course, Kaylani's a replacement player, which I hate the name. I replacement player
is alternate a better?
Yeah,
I
feel like alternates,
gymnastics uses alternates.
It's like you've been replaced.
Right, replacement player that's a tough one to swallow. But with
like
how dominant
Howard, call up the replacements.
With how dominant Oklahoma. No, I'm gonna lean into this for my Boomer Sooners out there. With how dominant Oklahoma has been over the last 4,210 days since we've had an Olympic roster, I feel like there should have been one Olympic play
on the 15.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, they
don't know.
Look, it's hard. Everybody's good.
And there are 4 Bruins. Brian made the point that there are 4 Bruins.
Seriously.
The Bruins are well represented.
Yeah. Priscilla's right on. How many California versus the rest of the states? It's pretty much like a California dominate team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is that surprising to anyone?
No, I'm from California. That should tell you something.
Okay. It doesn't tell us anything. Who were your surprises?
I was surprised that Bubba made it, but look, Bubba had an amazing year last year. Obviously, she's super versatile. Mm-hmm. She's like an Allie Carta. Although we saw Carta's going to do more throwing, but if you guys remember, Bubba used to throw. Mm-hmm. So she can pitch, she can play infield, and we saw her transition pretty seamlessly into center field for the Bruins. So for me, she's kind of like really a Jill of all trades. She can do a lot of different things. Plus, she's got a decent amount of speed.
Jill of all trades.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It's tough. You guys know I have a soft spot for Flippin. I really thought she had a big shot of making the top 15. She did make it as, I'm going to use the word alternate, because that's what they used to refer to them as.
Yeah. And Ritz would like us to use the word alternate. So Ritz, we're doing that one for you.
So, I mean, yeah.
I know you're Flippin's your girl, man.
She's
You
so
were talking
good.
about-
I mean, when you watch her play infield, and those of you know, she is just as smooth as they come. As smooth as they come. And plus, she's clutch. I'm pretty sure she hit a home run on like the first day of tryouts. And she's just capable of doing so much. And she's a great teammate, a great person. Hannah Flippin.
Oh, there. Okay. There's a comment here. I forgot about this. Donna says she wanted to see Sis Bates.
Yeah, Sis. Look, everybody's
That's
good,
a good one,
y'all.
too.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yep.
And we can go back and forth on this. That's why there should be two of them. There should be two teams.
She just said an A team and a B team.
Yeah.
I just like.
They're called the replacements.
Oh my god. Our staff. I think our pitching staff is the best ever. There's Kat,
it's legit.
Monica, and Baby Goat.
Yeah.
Like, name a more epic staff
It's going to be really good.
in the history of softball. Like,
That's
I
legit.
dare you. Like, seriously, comment
Yeah,
right now.
they're pretty deep.
Just like, could Osterman, Abbott, and Garcia, like,
Yeah, you still
What
have Carta
is-
there.
Carter, yeah.
And then Kelly just pointed out, I'm surprised that Carly Hoover did not make it.
I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I mean, she had a phenomenal
great.
collegiate career, but you're talking about the three that I just mentioned, plus, like, Ches makes the point, Allie Carta and Bubba Nichols
Yeah,
also can
and-
throw.
We talked about this last time when we were kind of discussing the dynamics of this team. Like, Allie Carta's a great contender to be on the main roster just because she can do so much. Not only can she play pretty much every position on the field, she can also hit. So if you had to make some switches around, like, she's another bat in the lineup. Now, somebody made a comment earlier, like, why three catchers? Now, I really think Chittister is on the team. She's got a big bat. Look, she's going to come off the bench. I don't know if she'll earn a spot behind the plate, but she's going to be one of the most lethal bats in the lineup. We saw her perform over the summer for the NPF, and she has so much experience. I think she's going to do well. And a great teammate, great person. You can go on and on about Chitty.
I was a bit surprised that Edwards got an alternate spot. I thought she was solid enough to get on the roster.
She is. She totally is.
So I'm surprised that she's an alternate. I mean, the fact that Kaylani Ricketts is an alternate just tells you just how good the staff, like the pitching staff, is. And then, if you don't know, if you haven't seen the three alternates or replacement players, if you will, Taylor Edwards, Kaylani Ricketts, and Hannah Flippin. So we've kind of talked through those three. Your girl Flippin, Ricketts, and Edwards.
And Esther makes a great point. Arioto was a pitcher too. Now she's not really pitching for the U.S. team, but she used to have a mean changeup.
Solid point. I think you mentioned before the show. You mentioned a really good point. Like, should they be concerned? Or you raised a really good question. Should they be concerned with their lack of speed? Do you see that being an issue?
I do see that as being an issue. Especially, I don't know, you guys know when you're putting together a lineup, you like to reserve at least one person who can come off the bench and run, like in a situation where you have a runner on second, possibly two outs, and you've struggled to get runners on base, and then you need that speed late in the game to take those extra bases and potentially win the game. It becomes crucial. And to Kelly's point, that's what makes Merritt, like, you would think they would go in that direction. But in this situation, to me, it looked like they went with power and versatility.
So you think Merritt should have been the speed?
Yeah, I think she would. That's what she was mainly used for, like in the games that I've seen her playing.
So do you think that is going to be a critical enough error to cost them gold, or do you think they're going to go home with gold medals? Are we going to see redemption in 2020 after 2008?
This is tough. I don't know. I think, and they know this too, you can't take Japan lightly. Even though they might take their losses here and there, they make very strategic moves on who they're playing. So we don't know. and they still have Wayno.
Okay. Well, you need to give a prediction.
And they still have Wayno.
You still have to give a prediction.
Well, are they going to take gold? Of course they're going to take gold.
Thank you. That's what everybody wanted to hear.
Eagles fly high.
I set you up for that, and then you just kind of
well, look.
Eagles fly high.
Kylene, she asked, did they write my picks down? Did I get it right?
I'm glad that you can't, because I was going to go there.
I didn't. I thought Lorenz. I had a lot of bubble players, obviously.
Allie, did you write her picks down?
I didn't write them down.
Let's see.
This is amateur.
I mean, we'd have to just go back and listen to the previous episode.
This is amateur.
Where we
look,
listed
I
these.
have them.
She has them.
Oh, did you list them?
We're gonna
nope.
We're gonna do it live.
Just kidding.
Nope. JK, we're not gonna do it live.
I switched them around on my spreadsheet because of who actually made the team.
Bold, Kelly. Kelly thinks Japan's gonna win gold.
Oh.
I look. You can't take them lightly.
Bold.
I bet they're like studying every single detail of the U.S. team and Team Canada and Team Australia and Team Mexico.
Who do you think's who's gonna be? What's gonna be the podium?
It's gonna be the podium. U.S., Japan. That third one's a tough one. Australia looked really good.
Yeah, they did.
But
ooh, what's that but?
I don't know.
I think
I'm
I'm
gonna have to go with the
Canada.
Canadians.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It could be. I mean,
I'm gonna say Australia. I'll be that one. I'll be that person. I'll take that bold move.
yeah, they looked good.
I thought they looked great.
To me, for the bronze, it would be either Canada or Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I know Mexico's really good. We saw them upset Puerto Rico, and then upset Canada. They got a little mojo going.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any Romeros though.
They don't, and they didn't need them.
They have some mojo, but they don't have any Romeros.
I know, but they didn't need them to qualify for the Olympics.
Ray, right now we're talking about Mexico. That's what we're talking about, Ray. Thanks for joining. We're talking about Mexico right now. Mexico with the shocker.
Yeah.
Yep, we're still talking Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Kelly bold with the Japan move.
Yeah.
But look, I love watching Japan take infield and hit. Not gonna lie about that.
So a couple people are like, so there are two things about the Romeros in Mexico. Any thoughts on whether Romero might try out for Mexico? Mexico should go after Romero now.
I don't know. I'll ask her.
Don't know. Is that an option?
I'm not sure if that's what they're gonna do. I think they might put a pin in it, but I'm not sure. I'll ask them.
Donna's saying Japan, U.S., and Mexico for the podium.
Ooh, bold. Yeah. Who knows? It's not like the Mexico won like by a landslide against Canada. I feel like their battles have been very close.
All this Canada-Mexico nonsense. Australia's going to get bronze. I'm telling you what's going on.
Do love the Australians.
The Aussies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, let's move into our next topic. So obviously with Baby Goat and Bubba Nichols,
Deja
Mulupola, possibly Gabby Plain and Nicole Mendez. Will we even see these players during the 2020 season? I know I am like 99.9% sure that Rachel Garcia and Bubba Nichols will have to sit out because they already have a tour planned that's starting in February for the U.S. team.
You're not sure of Deja?
Oh, and Deja. My bad.
So for the U.S. players, you're 99% sure you're going to be sitting out. But you're not sure about Mendez and Plain in terms of like...
I just don't know. I would imagine that they would sit out because if they're only going to train with them for a couple months, that just doesn't seem right in my mind because the Olympics will start at the end of July. So I would think that they'd want an adequate amount of time to train, possibly in Japan for at least a week or two. So I'm curious. How do you think UCLA will be without Baby Goat and Bubba Nichols?
Our boy Nestor jumped on this before we did. Yeah, he said
What's the word?
He said UCLA is going to struggle this year. I'm going to rephrase that. And plus, he also likes the salt that I'm bringing. I didn't even feel like I was heavy on the salt yet, Nestor, so I appreciate you. This one's just for you. I don't think UCLA is going to struggle. I don't think they're going to win. And I don't think they're going to be as dominant because Baby Goat and
Bubba.
Bubba, thank you. I said Baby Goat and then the B, it left me.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be as dominant with Baby Goat and Bubba Nichols out. But I don't think I think saying that UCLA is going to struggle is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I think that's a stretch.
Because they're so dominant.
Look, they still got Megan Framo. They still have Holly Azevedo. They pick up a stellar freshman in Lexi Sosa. This team offensively is just nuts. Between their speed and their power, I mean, they're still one of the top teams in the country, in my mind.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win. I don't think I don't think that they're going to struggle either.
Oh.
I think they're going to. Well, I'm jumping into the next section early, but I think you're going to see them in the Women's College World Series.
And Ritz made a great point. She said, "Great opportunity for incoming freshmen at UCLA to make a statement."
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, very excited about that freshman class, but it's tough. Like replacing your two best players, arguably.
Yeah. And somebody asked a good question. How does it work for Rachel since she's already redshirted her freshman year?
I think it would probably fall under a different kind of category.
Yeah.
For a red shirt. So that would probably be the case for UCLA because I'm only going off my own experience.
Yep.
I think my sophomore year, Kat was playing in the Olympics, so she sat out that year, and then they came through to Texas and destroyed us.
Fond memories.
Yeah, fond memories of me. Like I needed a neck brace with the balls flying over our head, and they wouldn't hit them out of the park. They just would hit the fence, so we would have to do relay after relay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's vivid. Like it's still,
yeah, I do. How do you forget?
She still has nightmares about it at night.
Yeah. How do you forget about
that's what
that?
It sounds like. Do you see the same thing happening with where is he? Dave. Dave thinks Arizona's going to win the Pac this year.
Dave's a little biased.
But do you see the same thing happening to Arizona or Washington?
I really like Arizona going into this next year. Even though they do lose Taylor McQuillan, they still have a very deep staff. Offensively, they had a slow start last season, but then they just were going.
They sure did.
So I mean, it's going to be a battle between Arizona, UCLA, and Washington.
But do you see Washington, OU, Arizona being affected like UCLA?
No, I mean, it's going to take some adjusting. Deja was pretty much an everyday starter for Arizona and a staple in their lineup, especially when it comes to adding power between her and Jessie Harper and third baseman. Name slips my mind. But that's one offensive and defensive component that's going to be difficult to replace. But I'm sure that's an area where they've got a backup. And Washington, we're gonna have to see freshmen kind of take the reins here. Obviously, Kelly Lynch is the highest prospect in the 2019 class, so she's gonna get the ball, and we're gonna see.
I'm excited to see what she brings.
If she can wheel and deal going into the big stage.
I'm gonna say it right now. I think she's gonna have a phenomenal freshman season.
You think so?
Yeah, I interrupted you just to say that.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Wanted it on camera.
Yeah, so I think the pitching staff for Washington is going to get a lot of opportunities to prove themselves. And obviously, defensively and offensively, that team is just stellar to watch. So between those three, it's going to be a real dogfight for who's going to take the pack.
Oh, man.
It's going to be it's going to be awesome.
Is that a perfect segue?
Where are we segueing?
To who could we see in the Women's College World Series?
Right. So with this shakeup, with some of the best players being pulled to the U.S. team, who do you guys think? Who are we going to see in the Women's College World Series for 2020? give you a minute to think about this.
Way too early picks. We want to hear them.
Sarah, you got thoughts on this?
I definitely, of course, I
Okay.
have thoughts.
All right.
Of course, I have
Let's
thoughts.
hear
Would I come to a show without thoughts?
No.
UCLA is going to be there. I don't care
Okay.
that Baby Goat and Bubba Nichols aren't there.
Okay.
UCLA is going to be there. I'm gonna say this, and you can throw your horns up. I think this is Texas's year.
Yeah, I feel it too.
I think it's their year.
It's in my bones.
Okay, you don't. Okay, it's in her bones. I think Texas is going to be there. I think OU is going to be there. I think it's going to be a little bit of a resurgence for the Big 12. Was that 3? I do like Arizona. I really like Arizona. That's 4. Man,
Who do you think
Lot
from
of
the
thinking.
SEC?
the SEC is where I'm looking right now, and I'm just like, man, I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
Alabama's going to make it.
What?
Oh, I'm betting on Alabama being there.
Yeah.
I put that out there just
I think what
For Chez to
happened.
play off of.
Yeah.
the
Alabama.
SEC is tougher for me than the Pac. Like
in terms of thinking about who's going to win it.
yeah, like it's just
I still think, between Alabama, LSU, and Florida, those are going to be the ones that are in the mix. They've got kind of the most complete teams. But I think you're crazy for thinking that Alabama's not going to make the World Series.
So I put
And
that
I
in there
don't
just
think
for
we're
you.
going to have a matchup where it's Texas rolling through Alabama. If Texas does what they're supposed to do, they'll earn a seed, so those two won't face each other into the World Series.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting for
Yeah.
sure. I think Nick Torina is on, so I'm going to say LSU. You're welcome, Nick.
Shout out to Nick.
Man, and then the rest of them. No, I will. I'm going to back my Alabama's going to make it. Alabama's
Yeah,
a
I
really
mean,
great
come
team.
on.
I put it out there for you guys to and
yeah.
you bit the bait very easily.
Sounds like a bunch of
Do you
BS.
think we'll see another Big Ten team?
I think so.
You think so?
Look, I think Michigan, Northwestern, and Minnesota all had really good showings in postseason. Yes, Michigan did get knocked off by JMU. They had, look, JMU is good. I wouldn't, even though they lost Megan Good, this team is still highly competitive, and they shouldn't be taken lightly. But I really like Northwestern going in.
Do you like Northwestern enough to make it to the Women's College World Series?
I think they have a shot.
I think so too.
I think they have a shot. They have a strong freshman class. They have lots of returners who know what it felt like to get so close and then fall short.
Do you think Michigan has built its program back up enough for us to see them?
It's going to depend for those 3 teams. It's going to depend on how they do in preseason and where they get seeded. So that's where I think Minnesota had the advantage. They had the higher seed. Yes, they beat a tough Georgia team, but they coordinated their strength of schedule good enough so they can get that higher seed that allowed them to advance to the World Series.
Zachary says Michigan has no shot.
Of making it? I mean, I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah.
It just depends on the seeding. You guys understand
And he said that Kentucky swept them in fall ball, but
yeah,
it's fall ball.
it's fall. Look,
Kelly's asking how Tennessee looks.
Ooh, man, Tennessee. Losing Kaylin Arnold was a tough one. That's why I think Florida State they're going to be tough. They've got a very deep pitching staff. Yes, they lost a few players, but they still have Sid Sherrill, some really good newcomers, Danny Morgan. They've got a very experienced team. They're deep in the circle, and they've got Lonnie Alameda at the helm. I think
She said it here. That's the rundown.
they're a team you can't sleep on.
Allie, who you got?
Oh man. All right, so I definitely have UCLA, Oregon, not Oregon. Why did I say Oregon? Oklahoma, Alabama, Washington, FSU,
Oh, she's
and you
going
know what?
with
I'm
FSU.
gonna go. This kills me, but Texas. Uh,
Said
what?
it.
It kills you
You
because
said
you're
it.
an Aggie?
This is for
yes,
Lauren Chamberlain.
because man, that just hurt my soul saying that.
Wow, all the
No, it
boomer,
didn't.
all
It
the
felt
Sooners
good. It
and,
felt right
and,
for both of
and
you,
the
and it
Aggies
felt-
hate you right now.
I think Florida's gonna make it, and you know what? I'm gonna go kind of crazy here. I'm gonna go with JMU.
Ooh,
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
All right, going with the Duke Dogs.
Duke Dogs. Duke Dogs. Duke
That
Dogs.
is crazy.
That is crazy, but you know what? Hey, you never know.
Yeah, we've got some questions. Can
We do.
South Carolina finally make some noise? I think they have the talent.
Same
It's
question
like
about
if they could put it together.
Same question for OSU.
OSU,
Making noise.
they're going to be a great team. I think it's very difficult to replace a Sam Shaw who had a phenomenal senior year.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're getting all kinds of questions about that, and that's probably why they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder going into the 2020 season. I am very excited. I'm definitely going to that OSU Texas series.
Oh,
It'll
that's gonna be
in
fun.
Austin, and I know there's been a little bit of bad blood between those teams.
That's
so
going to be fun.
we'll see. And then Texas will go to OU this year. I don't know if
boy.
I'll go to Norman.
Oh,
We'll
boy.
see.
Oh, boy.
No Clemson.
Nestor's talking about Clemson.
Yeah, Nestor, where are you coming from?
What's going on, Nestor?
But congratulations to Clemson
Yeah.
that earned their first win
Absolutely.
of the 2019 season. Oh, Nestor, you made a great point. Look,
yeah.
Louisiana Lafayette was one of the names that was kind of in the mix for a team that could potentially make the World Series, especially with Megan Kleiss. They have Moose. They had a great season last season. I don't know what we're going to have to see how Kleiss does in preseason to make kind of an accurate assessment of what this team's going to do the rest of the season.
But I can verify that Ches did indeed have Louisiana Lafayette
Yeah.
on the sheet. She
Thank
had
you,
him down.
Sarah. I did have him down.
She has possibilities from every major, all the Big Five, plus CAA and the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
she does her homework, folks.
Look,
You can't
when you
pull-
add
can't pull it off.
a star player like Megan Kleiss to your roster,
Yeah.
you're in contention. Like, the girl's phenomenal. And it's not like she's going in working with a coach she's never worked with before. She has worked with Mike Roberts previously. So I just think that relationship will kind of be pretty seamless.
I think pretty typically I'm pretty I don't know. I'm pretty hard on the conferences that aren't in the Big Five because of the strength of schedule. But I would love to see a JMU or a Louisiana Lafayette make the Women's College World Series. I think it would be awesome.
Same.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
It was awesome. And I can tell you, when Louisiana was in the World Series, they were a dangerous team. Like, I remember we had to face them in the opening round, and one of their hitters took Cat Yard. I was like, oh shit. Like, we better get our act together.
Right? But like they probably come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, like
Yeah.
we
They
got
have a
something to
crazy
prove.
fan base too.
And yeah, especially the Louisiana Lafayette specifically with their fan base. Like I would just love to see it. I'd love to see it. I think it'd be awesome.
It would be great. It'd be great for the sport. It's awesome to see the Pac back on the rise, and then some of these other teams from other conferences battling it out for a spot. Wow. Daniel, will Texas beat OU this year?
Oh boy. like win the series?
I think
No. No, they're not going to do it.
Allie, enough of that. They
No.
might get one.
No. I think Texas getting one from OU is actually realistic this year. I don't think
Yeah, I
they're
can
gonna
see
win the
that.
series. No chance. Get out of here.
Yeah, G Juarez will probably toss two of the three.
Yeah. And those are the two that Texas will lose.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us.
Dave's just like, no. Duh, duh, duh.
Dave is hating on my horns.
Yeah, he is. That was salty. It's just a nope.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, what's up next? We've got the 2020 Hot 100 rankings starting at the end of this month, leading up into signing day. And that'll be awesome. It'll be I feel like it was a summer of the 2020 grads. They did amazing over the summer. Some big standouts. So we're excited to recognize that recruiting class, and then we'll be going into the Gem of the Hills, first time event for us. So we'll see how it goes. We'll have more information on FloSoftball.com. And next week, this is really important. We have a special episode next week, so we won't be on at our normal time on Wednesday, but we will be on at 1:30 on Friday the 18th, and our special guest will be Amanda Lorenz. She'll be in the house.
How awesome is that?
So she'll give us all the insight on the Gators.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.